Cowboys legend, three-time Super Bowl champ, and former All-Pro Darren Woodson. Skip, you've known Darren for such a long time. Let's let you do the honors.
Darren Woodson, it's an honor and pleasure to have you back on TV with me. We've had many great days together on TV, and I should probably disqualify myself here because I am a big Darren Woodson fan. I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. If Steve Atwater got in, you played with him, right? And John Lynch got in. Listen, Darren Woodson was a driving force of that Cowboys defense through the 90s, and my team is still trying to replace Darren Woodson at safety as we speak today. So, Darren, always appreciate your perspective on this team. We have heard Troy Aikman say this week that this team can be special, said Troy. Yeah. We heard Drew Pearson, freshly now into the Hall of Fame, great Cowboy receiver, say that he believes that Dak Prescott is now a top 3 quarterback. So you've always been very objective about this team. Help us out here. How legit do you see this team being at this point?
You know, look, I said it. I've said it a million times. I think it's a week-to-week process with this team. And what's happened, what we haven't seen with this football team is the young kids, the young guys that are coming in, the guys that are in their first, second, third, fourth year step up. And now we're starting to see that with Trayvon Diggs and the Micah Parsons and the Jordan Lewises of the world, the guys that are on that team, the young guys are stepping up. They're not having to rely on DeMarcus Lawrence to make every play out there. These young guys are really stepping up to the next level. They're becoming playmakers. They're hungry, Skip. I mean, this team, for the longest time, all you've seen is the hoopla. I'm just happy to be a Dallas Cowboy. I'm just happy to have the star on my helmet. Now, these kids are hungry, and that's what I like about this team and what they're and the culture of what they're doing right now. And that's why you're hearing guys like Troy Aikman and others talk about the youth of this football team, because that's what's made us special back in the day. That's what made the Broncos special, Shannon, when you were playing. Young guys are the role players who actually were listening to the veterans and understood it's not just about being a Cowboy. It's about winning games and being a champion.
Woody, I'm not sold on you just yet. Because I thought you beat a team in Philly that I didn't think was very good, and Skip tried to oversell them. He tried to oversell them, and when you look at Philly, I don't think they're going to be very good this year. I don't see them winning more than probably about 6 games, 6, 7, maybe 6 or 7 games. You really should be 1-2 right now. Had the Chargers not imploded, shot themselves in the foot with 10 offensive penalties, and plus Mike McCarthy, I don't know what he was thinking at the end of that ball game by not using a timeout or running another play and relying on a kicker to kick a 56-yard field goal.
But our record is what?
Your record's 2-1.
Thank you. Go ahead.
But your day coming. Your offense, I will give this. Your offense has looked a little bit better than what I thought, especially in the run game, because you do have weapons on the outside. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, you have Cedric Wilson filling in for Michael Gallup. But your defense is really what surprised me, because you're taking the ball away. I still don't believe you're that great on the back end, but somehow you guys are coming up. Every ball that hits the ground, you jump on it. Every ball that hangs up in the air, you get it. So that's something that you can build on, but I'm still not sold on you guys just yet. I'm just waiting on the day when I come in here on a Monday and say, Skip, y'all still the same Cowboy. Tell me that's not going to happen this year.
No, I don't think that happens. And the reason why I don't think that happens is this. If you look at, you play the teams that are in front of you, you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Am I right, Shannon?
Yep,
It doesn't matter what you look like. The teams that line up in front of you, you beat them. Well, look at the division, because we always start with the division, right?
Terrible.
Be the beast in the East. Win the division and let that happen. So, all right, let's talk about the division. Philadelphia, you're right. They're not that good. Football team. Absolutely. The New York Giants, not that good of a football team. The Washington Redskins won the division last year, and they're not that good of a football team. And you're watching them defensively, which you expect the Redskins to be. You expect the Washington football team to be special on the defensive side of the ball. They're not special right now. This Cowboys team can win this division. And when you have confidence and you're building with a young football team, young defensive team, and you're building confidence week in and week out, there's one thing that starts to happen. You start to believe. And when you believe, you get in a tournament, anything can happen. And I think this is going to be a progression. That's why I say it's week after week. Can Micah Parsons get better? Can Diggs get better? Can Jordan Lewis get better? Can all these young guys on the offensive line who are getting these quality reps that Lyle Collins is out, Still, can he get better? They will get better as the season goes on because they're going to play lame duck competition, and that confidence will continue to build.
So, Darren, as a former DB, what do you see in Trevon Diggs at this point in his development?
He's a playmaker. Look, I was one of his worst critics over the last year or so because I said there's a couple of things I said about Diggs. He's extremely talented. He has a gift, God-given gift. This guy can just line up and play the game. You don't have to coach him and do much with him. He has this special gift, like Shannon. Shannon had a gift. Didn't have to do a lot of things. He just came in the league and he was gifted as an athlete. That's what Diggs is. But he was lazy last year. There were times last year it took a long time to get lined up, and that's one thing about being a defensive back. You got to get lined up first and know what you're doing. He was getting lined up late. I was critical of the fact that he was lazy at times. He didn't rely on any technique. This kid is growing. I still think there's so much more room for him once he starts to understand technique, understand how teams are going to attack him. He'll get much better. But right now, athletically, there's no denying that he's one of the top corners in the league.
And what are you seeing at this point in Zeke bouncing back and being a driving force of the offense?
Look, I still think this offense is we've talked about Zeke. We talked about the running game over the years. I don't think this is not Zeke's team anymore. This is Dak Prescott's team. And they're going to throw the ball around the field because they have athletes. Okay. They have weapons on the outside. And I know everybody wants to say, well, they need to run the ball. Yeah, things have changed around here. Hey, Zeke used to carry the ball. We used to rely on that offensive line to create holes. I love what they're doing in the running game, but not only with Zeke, but with Tony Pollard coming in at the same time, who's going to offset things. But in the end, this is about Dak Prescott throwing the ball down the football field because he has weapons that win one-on-one battles.
Now you like hearing that. Oh, you're $75 million man, and Woody said, hey, it's all about Dak Prescott, revolves around him and not the run game.
Okay, but my favorite stat that I keep reciting to Shannon is with Dak at quarterback, they're 26-0 when they run it more than they throw it. So I still like the balanced up offense that I didn't see on opening night at Tampa when they threw 58 times and ran it 18 times.
Yeah, well, that's what we're seeing. But in the years past, this team has been behind. They've been in games where it's been tight. They've had to throw the ball to stay in the games. So right now, you're starting to see this team get a lead, and the running game becomes something special for them. Now they want to punch you in the mouth and loosen you up a little bit. And you're seeing two dynamic running backs. Like Zeke gets a lot of credit, and rightfully so. A tremendous running back, power puncher. But then you got this kid named Tony Pollard that comes in, and he hits the perimeter. He does a lot of things out of the passing game. It's a different speed when he comes in the game. They have quality backs and a good offensive line. I'm not going to say they're a special offensive line, but a good offensive line. But what makes them special? This is what makes them special. This is what's hard to defend. And I'm going back to Shannon and the Denver Broncos back in time. This is not a comparison. But, yeah, they had a great running game back when Denver was rolling. But when they get you in situations where they have Rod Smith and they got Shannon and they got one-on-one situations where they're going to get you in one-on-one situations because the running game gets so good. They're going to get you in one-on-one situations, and that's where your talent beats them. That's when your Amari Cooper stands up and he beats his guy one-on-one. That's when the CeeDee Lambs step up and they win their one-on-one battles, and that's hard to defend. When you got a two-headed monster, running game, and then weapons who can win one-on-one, it's hard to stop that.
Well, Skip, to your stat, the reason why that stat is so prevalent is because Dallas is throwing on their terms. And when you run the ball more, now I get to throw when I want to throw. You don't dictate. You fall behind by 14, you fall behind by 17, you've got to throw. You're throwing on their terms because you're behind, and they know you have to throw the football. When you can run it like they're running, they can say, well, you know what? We might throw it on 2nd and 4. We might not. We might throw it on 3rd and 3. We might not. We might do whatever we want to do because guess what? You're at our mercy because you don't know what we're going to do. Hey, Woody, I only got you one time. Woody, I got this little video. I had to pull this out, Woody. I don't know if you remember this in 2000. In 2000, I put a number on you, Woody.
You pulled a video of this?
Oh, I'm not bad, but I ain't mean to do that, Woody. I ain't mean to do that, Woody. I ain't mean to do that, Woody. That's not on Oakland. You got hot, Woody. Oh, there you go. I was going to go to the right, but Woody went there.
Wait a second. Oh, he said it. You remember that. You will remember this day because I'm going to pull something back out at you.
You mean that move, Skip?
Wait a second. He caught you in like half a second.
That was 20-yarder.
It was 20 yards.
That was 20 yards.
But he tracked you down in like a half a second. He was right on your back.
20-yarder. But that was Skip. I went for a buck. I went for a buck and some change in that game in the tub.
What year was that?
That was 2000. That was the Super Bowl year. Oh,
Hey,
we shut him out.
I had a broke arm that game. You know what you're talking about.
Don't do that.
And he was a veteran player at that point. You were just a pup.
Hold on, Skip. I'm older than Woody. Trust me, I'm older than Woody. I know that for sure. I think I got Woody by a year. Woody, you came in 91, right?
92.
Yeah.
So I got Woody by 2 years, Skip.
Okay, I got it. So,
Hey, that was a nice one.
So
I got amnesia. As great defensive backs have, there's amnesia there.
Okay, so Darren Woodson, sum this up for us. How far, if this team stays on course and keeps, to your point, week to week getting better, how far do you think this team could go?
Look, this is a playoff caliber football team. And I say a playoff caliber football team because I think they win. I feel like they win the division. Now, what the record will be coming out of the division and what they do outside of their own division, I'm not sure. But it's always, when I look at a season, you take care of what's in front of you. And right now, what's in front of them is winning the NFC East. They win the division. Now they're in the playoff, whether it be a wild card team or a team that's, has won, in a different position. But at the same time, I just think they continue to build confidence. And that confidence will take you to where you want to be.